Good morning to you. Today we will continue with the parliamentary procedure. See, we have seen in the last class how the demands for grants are examined by the departmentally related parliamentary standing committees. Now, I have already told you how the parliamentary standing committees are constituted. 24 committees, 31 members. I have explained you. I also explained how the demands for grants are referred and what is the functions of the parliamentary committee and what are the merits and demerits, what was happening prior to 1993, what is the present position, etc. I have told you. The recommendation of standing committees would be provided to all the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now, the demands for grants are presented to Lok Sabha along with the budget statement. Each demand gives the total of voted and charged expenditure and also revenue and capital expenditure. I have already told you what is charged expenditure, what is voted expenditure, what is revenue expenditure, what is capital expenditure. I have already told you. This is included in the demands for grants separately and also a grand total of the amount of expenditure for which the demand is presented. I have told you that the demands for grants, each ministry will be obtained by the Ministry of Finance. They will consolidate and they will prepare a main demands for grants on the basis of which appropriation bill will be prepared. So each demand for grant of each ministry plus main demand for grants and the appropriation bill, this will be placed on the table of the House. Now, supposing there are 15 ministries, 45 ministries, let us say there are 50 ministries, 45 to 50 ministries. The reports of the standing committee on all the 50 ministries are available to the members. Now, the government will choose 4 ministries demands for grants for detailed examination and detailed discussion. And the details for such ministries would have been intimated to the members well in advance. Which ministry we are proposing to take. That would have been, that is at random, not a government's choice. It is selected at random. And which are the ministries going to be discussed, that will be intimated to all the members in advance through part 2 bulletin. There is 2 bulletins are there, part 1 and part 2. Part 2 bulletin will carry what are the action, what is the proposed work. Part 1 is the synopsis of the discussion in the last sitting, etc., which are relatively not very significant. Part 2 is important because it will indicate you what are the items of work which is proposed to be taken in the next sitting and what are the very important meetings scheduled and what are the time allotted to the bills, what are the time allotted to the calling attention motion, what are the deliberations of Business Advisory Committee. All the important matters are available in the bulletin 2, part 2, and part 1 is what has happened in the yesterday. So this is how it is intimated to all the speakers, all the members of the parliament. Now, the 4 or 5 ministries will be chosen by the government for detailed discussion of the demands for grants. During the discussion on the demands for grants in respect of selected ministries, members are free to move any motion to reduce the amount of demand. Members are free to move a motion to reduce the amount of the demand. Such a motion is called cut motion. Remember, a motion which intends to reduce the demand of the grant is called cut motion. It is a reduction. So it is only in the form of initiating discussion. Remember, the cut motion moved means the intention is not to immediately cut the demand. The intention is to initiate discussion on the demand. The purpose being to draw the attention of the House to the matter specified in the said motion. What that particular matter, which is the center point of the demand, that the discussion is compelled, discussion is sought on that particular issue. Remember, it is important to note that it is not obligatory that a discussion should start only on moving the cut motion. Simply, that is not the only way. There are many ways, and it is one of the ways in the process of discussing the budget. Similarly, it does not give any right to the members to insist for admission of the cut motion. That is also no right. Cut motions are given normally by the opposition members only. The treasury benches, that is, the members of the ruling party, that is, the party in government, do not generally give such notice because it would be amounting to censure of the government or indicating lack of confidence over the Council of Ministers. So the point you should remember is cut motions are given only normally by the opposition members. Ruling party members will not give cut motions. Why? Because cut motion indicates the displeasure over the functioning of Council of Ministers. So naturally, if a ruling party member gives a notice of cut motion, that means he is not happy with the function of the government. Then the Minister for Parliamentary Affairs and the Prime Minister will take action against him. So that is the party president, especially party president will take action against him because he is indulging in anti-party activities. So point from the examination point of view, you should remember only the opposition members will sponsor cut motion and ruling party members will not move any cut motion. This is number one. Now, there are three categories of cut motions. This is important from the examination point of view. Three types of cut motions are there. One is disapproval of policy cut. Number two, economic cut. Number three, token cut. Remember, of these three, disapproval of policy cut, economic cut and token cut, the disapproval of policy cut is the most important. It is the most important. According to the decision of the Supreme Court, if the government has been defeated on a policy cut motion, it means that the Council of Ministers has lost the confidence of the House. That is, remember Article 75, the President appoints the Prime Minister, on his advice the other ministers hold their office during the pleasure of the President, and the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to Lok Sabha. Collectively responsible, that is important. That means the Lok Sabha has lost the confidence over the Council of Ministers. One way to defeat the government is to pass policy cut motion. It is a decision of the Supreme Court. So, the policy cut of all the three cuts, the policy cut motion is important. What do you mean by policy cut? Suppose, let us say, all examples, no motive should be attributed. All examples. Suppose we are all going for third economic reform, third generation economic reforms, and we are all denationalizing the government sector. Air India is being privatized, BPCL being disinvested. So I am a member of parliament. I want to disapprove the policy adopted by the government of India in privatizing the Air India. So I give a policy cut motion against the Civil Aviation Ministry's demands for grants, which is taken up for discussion along with the other three ministries. Now the ministry proposal has come, the demands for grants. Let us pursue the total demands for grants for Civil Aviation Ministry is 80,000 crores. Purely example, remember, purely example. So the 80,000 crores demands for grants, it has been placed on the table of the House for approval. Now I move my motion of disapproval of policy. What is that? Disapproval of policy, that is that the amount of the demand be reduced 2 rupee 1. Underline the word 2 rupee 1. Out of 80,000 crores, I am asking the House, don't give them 80,000 crores, but give them 1 rupee. Just imagine, in the place of 80,000 crores, you give the Lok Sabha gives only 1 rupee. That means you have the minister has, the Lok Sabha has lost the confidence over the Council of Ministers. So this is the what is known as policy cut motion. A member giving notice of such a cut motion has to indicate what are the details of the present policy to be discussed and what is the alternate policy he wants to suggest. Both the things he should suggest. So this is called policy cut motion. It is only, remember, the moment policy cut motion means, do not think that it will be taken up for discussion, it will be voted and the government will be lost. It is only an initiative taken by the member, and the House gets an opportunity to know the background of the privatization policy, what are the merits and demerits, and finally it will be defeated. If unless the government is in minority, the policy cut motion will be defeated and the demand will be given. That is the policy cut motion. Now, second is economic cut. It is a economic cut. Again, I give an example. See, suppose a particular minister, A, he is in charge of what is known as some consumer affairs. Consumer affairs ministry is there. He had renovated his chamber by spending about 20 crores. Purely example. So remember, 20 crores means how many villages you can provide pump set. At least 1 lakh villages you can provide pump set. So you give a economic cut motion indicating, highlighting the way in which the money is spent by the minister. So remember, so the economic cut motion emphasizes the need for economy. Here you are asking either a particular item of expenditure may be reduced or a specified sum. Remember, a specified sum. If it is consulted, if it is construed that an economy in expenditure is to be effected, the format will be the demand be reduced by a specified amount. The specified amount may be either a lump sum or reduction in a particular item. The notice has to indicate briefly the matter on which the discussion should start. So, the member will indicate what is the occasion, how much money has been wasted, the exorbitant way of spending by the ministry, etc. Remember, supposing the economic cut motion is passed, remember, Council of Ministers need not resign. Nevertheless, the image of the minister against whom this economic cut is passed will lose his status. It is up to the Prime Minister to take cognizance of it. So remember, nobody can compel the Prime Minister to appoint or remove him. It is only the Prime Minister which is his prerogative to take into account the the passing of the economic cut motion. So you have understood that you should remember is number one, either an item of expenditure or specified amount be reduced from the demand. Suppose consumer affairs, in the case, let us say his total budget is about 12,000 crores. Out of 12,000 crores, only one item may be administrative expenditure or maybe 20,000 rupees. This may be reduced. So this is called economic cut. So remember, in that policy cut, reduced to 2 rupee 1, 80,000 2 rupee 1, which is very serious. Here only an item of expenditure, economic cut. Thirdly, we are coming to token cut. Token cut is 100 rupees. 100 rupees. But I give an example. A honorable member of parliament, he went to the railway station, and in the railway station he is seeing that he cannot walk. He wants the escalator. He wanted to use the escalator. Escalator is in repair. He asked the person. He gives indifferent reply. And the other members of the public, they are all sarcastically saying, "Sir, when did this escalator work? It worked only at the inauguration day, which happened 5 years before. Right for the past 5 years, the escalator never worked. Why are you coming and bothering us?" This is the reply given by the members of the public, which show the total indifference of the railway authorities towards the customer friendly facilities. So the member got very angry. He gives a notice for token cut. So he is giving a notice against the Ministry of Railways, asking the demand be reduced by rupees 100. Remember, policy cut 2 rupees 1, economic cut a specified sum or a particular item of expenditure, token cut rupees 100. 100 rupees may be reduced from the demand. So this gives him an opportunity to discuss the issue, to ventilate the grievance. Remember, main item is to ventilate his grievance before the house, so that the way in which the ministry is functioning is exposed to the members of the house and also to the government, so that necessary remedial measures can be taken against malfunctioning of the department. This is the 3 cut motions. Remember, I have told you what are the cuts available: policy cut, economic cut, and token cut. And there is the cut. Normally, the notice for cut motion is 1 day. 1 day. That is prior to the day on which the demand is proposed for consideration. The cut motion, another point you should remember from the examination point of view is the cut motion was started in 1925 during the budget session. During the budget session. So these are all the cut motions. Now we will understand what are the conditions of admissibility. For admitting a cut motion, what are the requirements to be fulfilled? Number 1, it should relate to only one demand. One demand, one cut motion. You cannot club 2 or 3 demands in the same cut motion. No, it is not possible. Secondly, it should confine to specific matter. Not all the matters should be clubbed. Specific matter. Number 3, the matter should relate to union government. That is, remember, suppose you give about fisheries, or you give about what is known as sanitation. It is not a state subject. It is not a central subject. It is not the union list. So the matter should relate to union government, and it should not relate to charged expenditure. Remember, I have already told you, charged expenditure cannot be voted. I mean, you cannot vote on the charged expenditure. It is charged. So charged, it should not relate to charged expenditure. And secondly, there should not be any arguments, no inference, no ironical expression, no defamatory statement, no trivial issue. No trivial issue, no defamatory statement, no ironical expression, no arguments, no inference. Remember, most important. Secondly, there is no question of any privilege. There is no question of any privilege. Thirdly, a subject which has already been discussed cannot be reopened, and it cannot change the existing law, and it should not relate to any issue which is pending before the court, either judicial bodies or quasi-judicial bodies or semi-judicial bodies or inquiry commissions, nothing. It should not relate to it, and should not be about the conduct of a judge. It can, because the conduct of the judge can be discussed only upon a motion for his removal. No, that should not be related in the cut motions. These are all the conditions of admissibility. Now, secondly, after the cut motion of the selected department's demands for grants are discussed and voted, all the outstanding demands of the rest of the ministries. Remember, I have told you 4 ministries' demands for grants are taken for discussion, and cut motions are moved, cut motions are discussed. All the demands for grants of these 4 ministries are voted and passed. Now, what about the rest of the ministries? We have 49 ministries, only 4 we have taken. What about the 45? These are all the outstanding demands which were not discussed, in detail, will be summarily, underlined, summarily put to vote, and that is called guillotine. Guillotine is normally taken up on the last day of the allotted days for discussion, and the voting for demands for grants will be normally kept at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Remember, this is normally we take last day, see, we allot certain days. Total finance bill is to be approved by 75 days. And from the date of introduction of the budget, then the finance bill has to be passed on the 70th, before the 75th day, finance bill is to be passed. So we allot, and when the demands for grants have been discussed on the allotted days, and the last allotted day, 5 p.m., the guillotine will be applied. Guillotine is putting all the outstanding demands summary vote. Once it is passed, remember, all the demands for grants have been passed. Now, there is one exception. Normally, when you put the demands for grants, outstanding demands of the grants of the rest of the ministries, other than the 40 ministries, you are taking the demands for grants in a lot. These outstanding demands for grants, normally at that time, no cut motion is allowed. No cut motion is allowed. Nevertheless, to my knowledge, Madam Sumitra Mahajan has allowed cut motion at the time of guillotine also, as an exception, because she has allowed the cut motions to be moved for at the time of putting all the outstanding demands for vote. So at the time of guillotine also, she allowed us a grace. She has no, but the rules, according to my experience and knowledge, there is no need for any cut motion when all the outstanding demands are put to vote. Nevertheless, as an exception, she allowed the cut motions to be moved even at the time of guillotining the demands for grants. So demands of grants are passed. Next comes the appropriation bill. Appropriation bill is a money bill, and it is introduced, and it is passed by the House. Then remember, after appropriation bill, it is an authority, seeking authority from Lok Sabha to spend the money, to take the money and spend from the Consolidated Fund of India. Now after appropriation bill, finance bill will be introduced. Finance bill is the new tax proposals. I have already told you what is finance bill, what is financial bill, etc. And that gives you the taxation proposals, which is included in the budget statement itself. So the finance bill should be passed within 75 days from the date of introduction of the budget. Once finance bill is passed, the budget process is complete. This is how the budget is, the bills are passed. Rest of the thing we will see in the next class. Thank you.